Okay, I'm going to call this meeting to order for the Polk County Board of Commissioners for Wednesday, September 11th, 2024. All commissioners are present. Announcements are on the agendas and extra copies are in the back. First item will be for comments not on this agenda, and I'm going to take liberty as the first commenter. I'm confident that we are all thinking acknowledgement of 23rd anniversary of 9/11 and the lives we lost on that day and how much our country has changed. So just take a moment, think about where you were and what's changed in your life since that day. Thank you for that. Anyone else for comments for items not on the agenda? All right, hearing none, I'll move on to an approval of agenda, but I have a note that says Morgan has an add-on, order 24-10.
Yes,
So
I would ask that the board please add the consideration of order 24-10 to be item 10 on the agenda at the conclusion of what's currently slated.
thank you.
I'll move approval agenda with the addition.
I'll second that.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, pass unanimously. All right, approval of the minutes from September 4th.
I'll move approval.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, pass unanimously. And approval of consent calendar.
Also move.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye, pass unanimously. Length of service awards, Mr. Hawkins.
Morning, Mr. Chair, members of the board. Today we get to recognize a few of our employees for years of service, and I'm going to start with the one and only that has shown up today. Sound good? So we want to first recognize Dustin Thompson with our Public Works Department for 10 years of service. Dustin, come on in.
Look, he's so wary.
What do they say in it?
Yeah, there's a whole thing that goes on here.
Thank you, Dustin. I appreciate it.
We're looking for speeches, et cetera.
Dustin's a very valuable asset to our public works department,
Thanks, Dustin.
very versatile. He's been on our bridge crew for quite a few years lately, and now he's kind of taken over our sign department.
Awesome.
Yes, good work.
Thank you for your service.
Thanks for being here too, Bubba.
District.
That too, yeah. Yeah, you guys have a great night.
Thank you very much on that.
So moving on, we would still like to, we have a couple of individuals that are not here, but for the record, we would like to recognize them. We would like to recognize Stephanie Gilbert with our Family and Community Outreach Department for 10 years of service to Polk County. And last but not least, we would like to recognize Colin Davids with our General Services Department for 20 years of service to Polk County.
Wow, thank you. All right, you're still up, so let's go to reclass of an employee. 2 times I have
Got
indicated.
2 of them, so I don't know what order they're in. I'll just do the order I've got here. So the first one, we would like to request a reclassification of Edgar Hernandez in our Family and Community Outreach Department. He is currently Community Resource Connector 2. Our lead Community Resource Connector has received a promotion. During that time, Edgar has taken on those duties and is acting in that role. So we would like to recognize him for that and reclass him into the lead Community Resource Connector position effective October 1st of this year. If that is approved, the fiscal impact would be approximately $3,000 for a full 12-month period, which does include PERS contributions.
I'm good.
Okay, thank you. I'll just keep moving on. The next reclassification that we have is a request to reclassify Marcia Reagan in the Health Services Department. This was actually somewhat missed. So Marcia had been working out of class. She is currently a Health Services Administrative Specialist 1. She'd been working out of class as a Health Services Administrative Specialist 2. And then HR, we had to tell them, you can't keep working her out of class. You've got to make this permanent because she continues to do that work. So we are requesting that she be officially reclassed into a Health Services Administrative Specialist 2 position And we are asking that that be effective September 1st. And the fiscal impact, we're gonna say the fiscal impact is approximately $4,000, including PERS contributions. However, the impact is less than that because she's already been being paid to work out of class.
Thanks for catching it.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Okay. Next up is item 10 for the order number 24-10.
Thank you, Commissioner, Chair, members of the board. Before you is Order 24-10. This is kind of just a legal requirement. If the county is going to sell property, they need to declare it no longer needed for county purposes. This is for a fourplex that the county owns on Hankel Street here in Dallas. The board has already discussed with staff previously to explore options to dispose of the property. We have found a willing buyer in the West Valley Housing Authority. We're selling it to another public entity. The sales price that we've kind of tentatively agreed on is more or less for the cost that the county has into the building itself. So I think it'll be an overall net positive for all participants in the transaction. The Housing Authority will gain a new asset. We will be no longer in the property management business, and overall, it's a good thing. So I would recommend approval of Order 24-10 and answer any questions if you have them.
So not that it has an influence on my decision one way or the other, but first, do we get cash from the sale direct?
Yes.
I mean, in like lump sum or?
The current plan, I'm still drafting this, the sales agreement. It can't really be executed until we've had this order passed. Is the Housing Authority is financing a portion of it. So they are working with local credit union. So I believe, I don't know the exact percentages, but I think it's around a third of it will be out of Housing Authority funds directly. The remaining 2/3, more or less, is going to be financed. And I believe we're tentatively planning on simply having a lump sum payment at closing. So yes.
So that, I guess my bottom line was, we'll be clear, but we're not carrying paper on.
No.
And then
The
additionally.
Housing Authority will through the
That's their
credit
business, I
union.
don't.
Yep.
Yeah. And additionally, does this go on the tax rolls or does it stay off the tax rolls as it goes to the Housing Authority?
It will depend on the tenants in the building. So the building is currently occupied. It has 4 units and currently it is on the tax rolls because it's being occupied by tenants and it's not a county program. And then what the Housing Authority does with those tenants will dictate it. I think if they put their tenants in there, it might be off the rolls. I'm not quite sure.
If it's yeah, I think if it's a part of their voucher program versus a public housing. They're moving away from public housing properties and converting those to market based.
And those answers would be something between the Housing Authority and Ms. Patuan. I'm not sure right now.
That too. I will investigate that further offline. Any other questions?
Quick question. I understand this was originally purchased with ARPA funds, correct? So that'll go back in that fund. It might be nice to get a little update on where we are with the various projects being funded through that at some point.
That's fine. I did it yesterday, so I'll
Okay.
tell you what we're gonna spend the remaining ARPA funds on. No problem.
And a action on this completes the work we need to do here at this board?
Yeah, section 3 of the order authorizes staff to act on behalf of the board to execute any necessary paperwork to complete the transaction.
Looking for a motion.
I'll move to approve order number 24-10 as presented.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved in second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, pass unanimously. Thank you, Morgan. The consideration of the bonus deduction still stands. And do we have a need for an executive order?
No, sir.
Executive session.
Session, sorry, thank you. I'm reading order, apparently.
There's a lot of need for executive orders.
Yes.
I don't believe that's an authority conferred on the
Thank
chair,
you.
Commissioner.
But no.
Okay.
No, I mean,
Any further business come before the board? Okay, hearing none, we are adjourned. Executive orders.